The awakening of the chosen. There will be major shifts in the year 2025, with the number 9 serving as a foundational sign. When 2025 are added together, the result is 9 in numerology, which signifies the end of cycles and the beginning of new chances. This idea has profound resonance across many spiritual traditions and also encourages introspection. Symbolically, the number 9 in a Christian context stands for divine judgment, God's will manifesting on earth. This year seems to be beckoning us all to take stock of our lives and reconsider the principles that guide us, as if it were a spiritual awakening. Envision the year 25 as a monumental gateway into an age crafted for enhanced transparency and equity. Not a catastrophic end, but the disillusionment that has kept us from the spiritual truths for so long. Here, long-suppressed realities will finally break through, ushering in a new period of freedom. This will seem like the icing on the cake for the elect, the ones who have kept their faith through thick and thin. These people, who have stood as symbols of defiance and optimism, will have their voices heard as spiritual leaders, which will increase their impact. Given the current trend toward more self-aware spirituality, I think this is a foregone conclusion. As surely as morning mists evaporate in the light of day, so too will falsehoods, and this is a very healing thought. The unveiling of previously unknown facts does not portend doom, but rather the laying of the groundwork for a better, more equitable society. We may look forward to entering a new era of spiritual and human development in 2025, when many will likely feel the liberation from previous delusions. Some may find this procedure unsettling since it forces the uninformed to confront the consequences of their actions in light of divine judgment. While this outlook may seem harsh at first, it really serves as a call to repentance and unity with the higher goal. It should be noted that the meaning of the number 9 also promotes self-reflection and the application of knowledge gained from past encounters. The year 25 serves as a reminder to all of us to reflect on and value the knowledge we have gained so far. We are all here to learn something new. This year is only the beginning of the next phase of that journey. It seems to me that this major cycle is a call to rely on our intuition and follow God's will. Despite the impending huge changes, God's presence remains constant, providing a solid foundation. With such a far-reaching goal for this year, we are all encouraged to step up and do our part in ushering in this new age. And more self-aware and caring social fabric emerges from the cumulative effect of every person's efforts. As strands of the same human fabric, we are all bound together. When communities as a whole experience spiritual development, rather than simply individuals, this bond becomes even more apparent. To me, the year 25 is more than a number. It's a symbol of boundless opportunity that begs us to live each day to the fullest, most genuine version of ourselves. The idea of divine justice is refined and rethought at every turn as the flood of truth grows ever higher. Now is an opportunity to reevaluate our views on spirituality and what it means to be virtuous. In times of doubt, keep in mind that God will never leave His chosen ones, His loyal followers who live each day with an open heart to love and truth. There is a tremendous spiritual awakening taking place right now, and as individuals, we can all bring our own unique blend of experience, insight, and hope to bear on the awakening that will reverberate for generations to come. Changes in our communities and cultures as a whole mirror the individual transformations that occur as a result of this collective awakening. Compassion, equality, and social justice are on the rise as more and more people realize and accept spiritual truth. When people make good decisions and take action, it sets off a chain reaction that inspires others to do the same. The deep significance of the year 25 prompts us to reflect on not only our fundamental selves, but also the potential we have as a collective in the world. These new spiritual leaders are catalysts for change. They are role models for others to follow, showing that a life that is in harmony with one's spiritual values is within reach, not only a theoretical possibility. Their stories encourage others by demonstrating that everyone, from the most humble beginnings, can find their way to spirituality. In my humble opinion, the year 2025 will bring about a great deal of enlightenment about the specific spiritual callings and purposes that every one of us has. Economics, politics, and science, fields long seen to be purely rational, may also feel the effects of this shift in public perception. The greater good of all parties involved, rather than only financial gain, will start to dictate policy decisions. The link. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with The Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Role is, being a spiritual leader means making a good impact via your actions and presence. When we are in harmony with our true intentions and provide service without self-interest, we experience a newfound sense of liberation in this transformational setting. A powerful reminder that truth will ultimately triumph is the promise that the unclean will be judged and the chosen will be glorified. This is a call to action for every one of us to deepen our comprehension and embrace this moral root. These periods, however they may seem unsure at times, are really stepping stones to a profound spiritual awakening. Deconstruction opens the door to novel ways of being and existing, beckoning all people to join forces in a shared quest for revitalization and rethinking. In this sense, we are all urged to keep engaging with the world in a manner that fosters justice, unity, and peace. We are reminded to always keep our humility and thankfulness for being here at this tremendous turning point in history as we pursue this journey of self-discovery and service. Being a part of creating a better world is both a privilege and a duty. We believe that by working together in the years to come, we can bring about a world where kindness and compassion are the highest values, and where the splendor of God's plan is evident in everything that we do. May the goal of creating a world where every living thing is acknowledged, valued, and cherished perpetually occupy our thoughts and emotions. Let us keep moving forward on this illuminated road, because it is the way to enlightenment, the way to union, and the way to profound spiritual significance. I pray that we might all get the insight to go on with optimism and delight, secure in the knowledge that the future we see is already taking shape in our own minds, bodies, and souls. A practice of introspection and self-comprehension that corresponds with the best perspective for mankind. We are not working in alone on this. Rather, we are all participating in a cosmic dance, with each step deliberate and purposeful. As we undergo this multi-stage process of spiritual awakening, it is very remarkable to see how it impacts not just ourselves, but also people around us. The changes to our perceptions and interactions with the environment are an intriguing part of this metamorphosis. Realizing that our decisions have consequences beyond ourselves, we become more attuned to the interdependence of all living things with each deliberate action. Recognizing the limitless power and healing potential of love and caring motivates us to behave compassionately. Being really and lovingly present with other people is a real manifestation of spiritual leadership, which reflects living a life of honesty and devotion to the greatest principles. The encouraging and motivating message is that the selected ones are ready for their jobs. This serves as a reminder that there is a plan and preparation taking place, even when things are going wrong. By placing our trust in this process, we pave the way for an endless supply of wisdom and insight, the ability to rise above hardship, and the fortitude to face and overcome obstacles. This never-ending cycle of learning strengthens our foundation and fortitude, allowing us to bravely confront challenges as they arise. In order to keep moving forward on this spiritual road, we must love and respect one another and ourselves, realizing that we are all on a separate but equal journey towards enlightenment. With this knowledge in mind, we come together as a community, encouraging one another, sharing in the joy of the journey's triumphs, no matter how little, and providing solace to those going through tough times. These are unprecedented times, and a fresh perspective and approach to life are necessary. We are being invited to coincide a reality where freedom, justice, and peace are not just ideas, but the live essence of our everyday experiences at this time of transition. A future that beckons us with assurances of tranquility, and plenty awaits us if we all take part in this co-creation, using our own strengths. Small adjustments on the inside may be just as effective as large-scale reforms on the outside when it comes to overcoming the problems of the here and now. By dedicating ourselves to this inside change, we are laying the groundwork for a new age in which mankind may thrive as its purest form. Let us always be appreciative of the chances and lessons that come our way in this realm of transformation and rebirth. There is a golden opportunity to serve with more zeal and passion, to love more profoundly, and to live each moment to its fullest. All of us are called spiritually, and the only way to answer that call is to dedicate ourselves wholeheartedly to serving the larger good. We can all keep on growing spiritually by feeding our brains and hearts the knowledge the cosmos freely imparts, and may this knowledge lead us step by step into a paradise of love, light, and magnificent harmony. At the turn of each new age, people are able to put the past in the past and go forward with forgiveness and understanding. A more peaceful and interconnected future is within reach, and now is undeniably a period of healing. Reconciliation isn't easy. It requires introspection into our own histories and the myths we hold on to, but it's the only way to break free. Wounds that were once wide open are starting to close, which is great news because it means we can finally breathe a sigh of relief and maybe change as a group. The need for community healing will be more pressing than ever before in the year 25. At this very time, people everywhere will come to understand that love and forgiveness are stronger than hatred and separation. In this picture, the selected few take on the role of spiritual beacons, guiding the wayward back to righteousness. Helping others is crucial because it lays the groundwork for a future society that prioritizes unity. We have not only seen an explosion of invention in many sectors of life since the entrance of this new dawn, but we have also been able to explore spiritual truths more clearly. When moral and spiritual principles are in harmony with cultural, scientific, and technical developments, we can do things that have never been done before. Together, these forces inspire fresh ideas that, when firmly planted in a rekindled communion with God, provide long-term answers to pressing problems. Because we believe that a harmonious world is a direct result of a growing awareness, we are devoting our energy to environmental protection and the preservation of all forms of life. The old prophecies are being fulfilled as we journey towards reconciliation. The hope for a day when mutual understanding and peace are the norm starts to beat its own drum. As more and more people join together in seeking justice and truth, the sound of divisive rhetoric is progressively muted. This global awakening shows that the ideal of a society built on love and light is becoming a reality, not just a faraway vision. On this path, we cling to an unwavering faith and a strong hope. We can speed up our journey towards a future where we flourish if we band together as a human race. The chosen ones, whose lives demonstrate the transformational power of divine love, lead us in this tango of the visible and unseen with their everlasting and boundless knowledge. Every one of us embarks on this holy journey with an open mind and a generous spirit, looking to not only comprehend, but also embody the truths that have the power to change our world. Because of this, we must ask ourselves what it is to be human at this historical moment. We are encouraged to reimagine our lives and let go of everything that hinders us from achieving our greatest potential. Every single one of our interactions, thoughts, and decisions contributes to the grand mosaic that is our desired reality. This is a moment of accountability, when we must come to terms with the fact that we are all part of a greater whole and may shape its future. We are seeing an interior reconfiguration that permeates every part of existence, not just an outside rejuvenation. Understanding the importance of our interdependence motivates us to behave in a manner that respects this bond, with the knowledge that our actions will have a positive influence on a wider region across several other existential realms. In this way, we may nourish the spiritual well-being of every living thing while also preserving social and ecological harmony. We are reminded again and time again that the spiritual path is a long and winding road, not a sprint. Every little bit counts as we go towards greater comprehension and a love that has no bounds. Our alignment with the higher truth, which rejects separation in favor of oneness, becomes stronger in this manner. As spiritual beings, we have the ability to bring about a more loving and fair world, and this new reality is proof of that. The natural grace of this group stroll is undeniable. Connecting with others who share this new way of life deepens the spiritual awakening we are feeling. Compassion, the preference for understanding over judgment, is a choice we have at any given time in the face of conflict. Even seemingly little decisions may have a profound impact on society and even alter the trajectory of history when multiplied. It leads us to a fuller and more meaningful life, and we are all interwoven in it in some way. As we have welcomed this new age, we have come to understand that reconciliation entails more than just letting go of the past. Achieving this goal requires bringing together every facet of our individual lives and the community we live in. This process forces us to question our beliefs and go beyond outdated ways of thinking. A more profound appreciation for the worth and dignity of every living thing gives rise to a web of interdependent connections. A fresh feeling of purpose is brought about by this effort toward togetherness. The need to take action that is in harmony with our deepest spiritual beliefs is growing. The selected few set an example for the rest of us to follow, showing that kindness and mercy are more than simply words on a page. They are powerful forces at work in the world. In addition to being spiritual leaders, they serve as beacons that direct us to the world we envision. We may have a better appreciation for the value of spiritual variety as we work to restore and revitalize progress. Every one of the world's many religious traditions and worldviews contributes something unique and beautiful to the fabric of human existence. In this way, we get to appreciate and benefit from variety, which in turn enhances our own journey. We are able to broaden our perspectives and develop more inclusive and effective responses to modern problems with every new encounter with other ideas and traditions. So, this new universe isn't being built by one entity, but rather by a collective that celebrates diversity and the bending of human spirit. The need to protect and maintain Earth, our shared dwelling place, is with us as each new day begins. More and more people throughout the world are becoming conscious of the need for environmental justice, which is bringing together people of faith, science, and action. We are more dedicated than ever before to preserving the planet for future generations, as we realize how deeply interdependent we are on it and on each other. We are living in an era of boundless opportunity, and we are all being invited to be a part of the miraculous healing and love that is taking place. We are all part of an endless loop that brings us one step closer to fulfilling our shared dream, a process of learning and development that never ends. As we come to terms with our own potential, we are constructing a future that will stand as a monument to the power of solidarity, bravery, and resolve shown by all people working together toward a shared goal. Every step we take brings us closer to achieving spiritual prosperity and tranquility in a peaceful manner. we are reminded that the core of what matters most has not changed, even if the world around us is constantly evolving. The everlasting truths that support and guide us include loving one another, coexisting peacefully with the natural world, and committing ourselves to helping the greater good. Throughout this path, optimism and resolve serve as steadfast allies, serving as reminders that the fresh start we yearn for is just around the corner, ready to be realized via our selfless deeds and genuine intents. Helps us appreciate the here and now by showing us that every day is a chance to get closer to God and discover our life's true calling. When united behind the ideals of love, peace, and justice, the full extent of human potential is being revealed. This realization compels us to live a life of purpose, to scrutinize every thought, word, and deed as a collaborator in building a brighter world. Every step of the way, we are reminded to be more considerate of others, appreciative of the little things, and full of compassion as we navigate through this human experience. Because of this thankfulness, we are driven to help others and to share what we have in a manner that makes a difference in their lives. At this point, we understand that genuine spiritual leadership does not reside in authority figures, but rather in the way we live our lives in harmony with God's love. We are encouraged to take more steps toward a life of harmony and integration as the new day unfolds. There is a strong connection between individual and community development, and this invitation to create harmony within and around us is a potent reminder of that. We help the world around us be healthy and happy when we tend to our own emotional wounds. The magic occurs in the here and now when we rediscover the wonders of life. Now is the moment to believe in a better future that recognizes and honors the inherent worth of every person. As we recommit ourselves, we take on the role of truth keepers, those whose words and deeds sustain the hope for a more compassionate and loving world. This devotion brings an inherent sense of delight. When we make the deliberate decision to live our lives with an attitude of love and acceptance, it changes the world around us and encourages and inspires others around us. The people we meet, the lives we improve, and the hearts we inspire are constant reminders that our actions have an effect on the world around us. Unity and camaraderie serve as cornerstones that uphold our advancement as we go side by side on this illuminated road. With their help, we may weave a network of strength that feeds and supports us, enabling us to confidently and gracefully tackle obstacles. We are motivated to be compassionate and kind because we know that we are all linked. We want to be a light for those who are still looking for a place to belong. As we go through this new era, themes of reconciliation and fresh beginnings serve as reminders that humankind is ever evolving, with each step serving as a witness to this process. In the face of this hope for transformation, we find the will to build a world that is true to our highest potential. Here, in this realm of boundless potential, our spirits discover their own manifestation and mission in life. Between the spiritual and the material will be better understood, and it will become apparent that the spiritual and physical realms are interdependent rather than separate. It's a wonderful moment to be living because science and spirituality are coming together in a manner that considers the whole person and the community. This is also a chance to rethink what it means for humanity to advance. As a species, we reject outdated notions of progress that prioritize financial gain in favor of one that places a premium on inward development, the fortification of interpersonal bonds, and ecological balance. Though difficult, the journey of spiritual development is ultimately fulfilling, and we must keep this in mind as we go on. It paves the way for a life filled with more meaning, happiness, and serenity. The boundless opportunities presented by the year 25 inspire us to not only envision a better world, but to take action to make it a reality as we move forward into the future. Each deliberate decision we make and every little thing we do may contribute to the realization of this greater goal. We should all make a pact to always be receptive to new ideas and to trust that love and truth can change the world. We pray that this symbolic year will help us all rediscover our purpose and find spiritual refreshment. If we can look beyond illusions and into the heart of the human spirit, we may tap into the boundless potential of the present and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. As we go farther down this path, it is becoming more and more clear that our external environment mirrors the personal growth we experience inside. We become acutely aware of the duty we have, not only to ourselves but also to the world around us. Because of this realization, we are able to treat our resources with the care and consideration they deserve, and to behave in a more sustainable manner. 2025 marks a turning point in our ecological and spiritual awakening, a time when we start to understand the interconnectedness of all life via its potent symbolism. An interdependent partnership between people and the natural world, one that is mutually supportive and able to endure the test of time, is being urged upon. We reassess our priorities in this new period, trying to find a happy medium between our professional and personal lives, between monetary success and contentment with ourselves. More and more people are coming to terms with the fact that happiness isn't based on money or material goods, but on the experiences, relationships, and accomplishments that bring us closer to a purpose bigger than ourselves. In the midst of today's hectic lifestyle, it might be difficult to make time for self-reflection. To that end, the year 25 should serve as a reminder to include times of contemplation into our everyday lives through meditation, prayer, and spiritual practice, in order to foster an inner serenity that can triumph over any exterior challenges. Rediscovering who we really are is a priceless benefit at this time of change. The still little voice inside, which speaks eternal truths and ancient wisdom, may be heard when we give ourselves permission to tune out the world's distractions. Being true to who we are not only benefits ourselves, but also illuminates the path for people around us, encouraging others to do the same. One of the most powerful ways to love ourselves and develop spiritually is to be brave enough to live our truth, to tell our story, and to learn from our failures. Incorporating the symbolism of the year 25 into our life allows us to experience a greater oneness among people of different origins, ethnicities, and beliefs. Let us use this year as a chance to transcend our past divides and embrace the spiritual bonds that bind us together. The new ground rules for our relationships with one another are compassion, empathy, and the capacity to see the divine in each person's face. In 2025, we go from a year of deep insights and understandings to a stepping stone toward a future where diversity is embraced and love transcends all barriers. A sense of oneness with the universe and one's place in it becomes palpable. Every deliberate decision we make is a reflection of the new awakening of the human spirit, which we experience when we listen to and share tales of respect, generosity, and triumph. These narratives are in harmony with the symbolism of 9. We, the people of this globe, are stepping into a new age that values unity, honesty, and the common goal of creating a more enlightened society that is capable of incredible things. Thus, let us make the most of this incredible opportunity that the year 25 presents to achieve our loftiest goals and leave a legacy of love and hope for future generations. For those who have been selected for positions of spiritual leadership, this year marks a turning point in their spiritual journeys. During this time, there will be disclosures that will show the faithful's real nature. Those who persisted in their faith through thick and thin are finally seeing the fruits of their labor. This is a pivotal time with deep symbolic meaning. The selected ones are rising not to achieve personal glory, but to fulfill a greater spiritual mission. It wasn't an easy road to get here. The trials and tribulations endured during the years served as a means of sharpening, cleansing the heart, and strengthening the resolve. Their life experiences molded them into spiritual leaders, just way gold is transformed by fire. No one should treat this position lightly. Being a rock of stability in the midst of storms and providing knowledge when everything else around you appears to be going up in smoke is a major part of spiritual leadership's responsibilities. Actually, I think that genuine spiritual leadership is born out of a capacity to lead and inspire with compassion and humility. A dedication to truth and divine justice is the calling of those selected in this new awakening. and they are asked to march ahead with clear purpose. Everything they do and say, from their day-to-day interactions to the way they build a community of people seeking the truth and brought together via shared networks and channels that spread messages of faith and hope, reflects this dedication. Spiritual community building is an essential human activity because it satisfies our fundamental need for meaningful relationships and a sense of belonging. Spirituality is becoming more integrated into everyday life, both in interpersonal relationships and in the structures and routines that we establish for ourselves. Remembering that we are a part of something greater than ourselves becomes easier when we frame this waking as an exaltation. The selected few come to terms with the fact that their inner struggles have prepared them, and they rise above the shadows to become lights of truth as they strive for their own enlightenment. As our understanding and insight grow, the long-held false beliefs that have kept us in the dark start to crumble. Each soul engaging in this process might seek a profound personal and communal awareness of our reality as it leads to a spiritual awakening. If you want to be a spiritual leader, you have to be able to take on constant criticism and yet stand firm in your beliefs. Advice from individuals in touch with a higher reality is more required than ever before, since the world is at a crossroads. These leaders, I think, will usher in a new age of conversation and understanding because they are genuine and willing to hear out other points of view. The selected few may reveal the concealed realities we all share, allowing countless more to also awaken in the process. We are seeing the emergence of a culture where the conventional boundaries between many spiritual traditions are gradually dismantling. By celebrating diversity, this vibrant ecumenism does not pose a danger to established traditions, but rather deepens and broadens our understanding of the spiritual. Those selected will devote themselves to spreading the truth in an honest, forthright, and most importantly, loving way. Love is the driving force behind this sacred purpose. Every act of kindness, every word of wisdom, and every intuitive gesture that weaves people into a rich web of interrelated human experience reflects His presence. For spiritual leaders in the years 2025 and beyond, the key is to go back to what really matters, the universal principles that unite us all. We are all on our way, prepared to contribute to the worldwide awakening. All of humanity is here, at this point in our spiritual development, searching for the truth and light. May we all remain humble and accepting as we go on, helping to create a world where leaders are guided by enlightened principles of selfless love and divine service. We acknowledge that every one of us has a part to perform in this expansive picture as we memorialize this new age of spiritual leadership. Everyone is essential to this group awakening, whether they are spiritual leaders or just seekers. The variety of viewpoints and life experiences that people bring to the table is what makes this process so interesting. Because of the inevitability of mutual learning, our knowledge of one another and the world around us grows. We must not overlook the significance of supporting these spiritual groups. They transform into safe havens where members may openly discuss spiritual matters and where the links of fellowship are strengthened through mutual support. Rather than only providing a safe haven, these hallowed locations inspire individuals and communities to better themselves. It's beautiful to see how places of love and acceptance foster spiritual growth. Leading others on this spiritual journey calls for unwavering dedication to one's own values and beliefs, as well as concern for their welfare. It is an impassioned plea to lead with empathy, to hear others out, and to do what brings people hope and faith. To be a spiritual leader is to serve others, to guide them to their own inner light, and to inspire them to share that light with the world. It boils down to a dedication to loving people and seeing the best in them. Leaders of the selected stress the significance of living in the now and now among all the noise and chaos of the contemporary world. In a world full with distractions, the gift of encouraging others to practice being focused and present is priceless. One of the most important things you can do for your mental and spiritual well-being is to learn to live in the now. Not only does this routine help us stay focused on what really matters, but it also firmly establishes our identity and our purpose in this world. Leadership, community, and presence all work together to provide a spiritual safety net that will be there for everyone in the days to come. The collective progress we are making toward a day when truth, justice, and enlightenment are not just abstract concepts, but actual physical realities is beautiful in its own right. All of our day-to-day decisions, interactions with one another, and views of the cosmos mirror this truth. Even if we still face many obstacles, the strength of our unity and striving for improvement guarantees that we shall see the dawn of a new dawn in ways we never imagined possible before. Surprises and miracles abound on the spiritual path, and we can all choose how we want to feel and be a part of this new dawn. As we go ahead, we let the light illuminate our way. We pray that all of us, chosen and lost, may gather the courage to follow the path that leads to the truth and the love that knows no bounds. This journey of unending spiritual development and leadership encourages us to know ourselves better and to accept our shared duty to create a better tomorrow. At each fork in the road, we have a chance to stand solid in our dedication to the common good and in our bonds with one another and the cosmos. Along the way, we will learn not only how to better ourselves, but also how to make a difference in the lives of others close to us. The power of love and truth to change lives is something that those who have been here before can attest to firsthand as time goes on. They demonstrate the power of faith and the possibility of uniting with those who have similar spirits in the face of adversity. It's inspiring to consider that every single one of us has the capacity to make a difference, even if our first steps are little. In the end, we are all capable of personal transformation, which shows up in the world when we accept and celebrate who we really are. Throughout this process, it is essential to embrace diversity and honor the unique journeys of each individual. A more complete and universal picture of the human condition can only be achieved via embracing spiritual variety, which is both desirable and essential. Our mutual learning, synergy, and inspiration propels us forward. The gift of this discussion is the reminder it gives of the boundless potential in every person and the incalculable wisdom that can be gained through genuine connection. On this path together, we may learn priceless lessons from every country, tradition, and philosophy. As members of spiritual communities keep supporting one another with love and compassion, the relationships we form become stronger and wider. Together, we can meet the difficulties of a changing world by adjusting to the demands of our spiritual support network, which is not a static, but an active and dynamic entity. These connections keep us going during tough times and show us that we are a part of a greater whole, no matter how isolated we may feel. Keep in mind that the path to enlightenment is seldom a straight line. There will be highs and lows, periods of uncertainty, and times of profound insight. The maturation of our awareness is an ongoing process, and each phase serves a specific function. Embracing the realities that surface as we go through life and learning from our mistakes, humility is a continuous companion. Part of the allure of this voyage is the element of surprise it offers. At the most inopportune times, the cosmos bestows knowledge and beauty on us. Moving forward, we are commanded to do more than just soak up the light that comes our way. We are also commanded to reflect it back into the world. Having a spiritually linked existence gives you the potential to be a lighthouse for others, guiding them with compassion and honesty. I pray that we never lose sight of the power to encourage others on their own path to self-discovery and fulfillment by the stories we share along the road. The prospect of a future that is more aware and empathetic becomes more than a hope. It becomes an inevitable reality as this spiritual awakening progresses. To a world where love, understanding, and truth are king, may we all, in our own ways, keep adding to the growing spiritual tide. As leaders, seekers, and guides, may we all approach this goal with humility, poise, and a willingness to learn. In 2025, there will be a spiritual showdown of epic proportions when every single person will have to fight an inside war. Although there is a symbolic connection to the Martian energy of conflict and war, this struggle does not appear as physical confrontations, but rather as an internal struggle inside each individual's mind and heart. Amidst the seeming anarchy of this moment, we are summoned to face our inner realities, amidst a storm of emotions and mental stresses. A major crossroads lies before God's chosen ones, who are torchbearers of truth and justice. There are forces that try to obfuscate the truth with layers of delusion and ego, but your purpose is driven by a profound spiritual conviction. It is intriguing to see how this opposition manifests as both exterior obstacles and internal struggles, such periods of uncertainty and isolation made worse by a villain who wants to derail these heroes of light off their intended course. But the Holy Presence is like a fortress. It never abandons them. With each difficulty conquered, these trials provide invaluable chances to grow spiritually. Among the selected, there is a reassuring conviction that the light will ultimately triumph. This insight is rooted on more than simply abstract philosophical principles. It is bolstered by concrete, first-hand accounts that show how love and truth have always prevailed over obstacles to inner harmony. All the hardships endured so far have not been in vain, but have rather been necessary steps in getting ready for this raging spiritual conflict. Just picture it, a spiritual boot camp where the selected ones are prepared for life's trials by overcoming them. They have mastered the art of separating fact from fiction, even when faced with a deluge of false information designed to derail them from their ultimate goal. They are able to see through the deceit and guide those who are still seeking the truth because of their sharp perception. While this duty is heavy, I take heart in the knowledge that I have opportunities to lead with honesty and rekindle my faith at every turn. There is great power in the numbers and unity of individuals who are committed to this holy cause. United, they will stand firm on the assurance of the divine mission that drives their spirits. A web of support is spun out by these spiritual connections and mutual understanding, which transcends cultural boundaries and binds all people together in the pursuit of the universal awakening. The selected few may experience feelings of loneliness or despair from time to time, but they are aware that they are never really alone. As they face and conquer obstacles, each one strengthens their convictions, becoming a more brilliant link in the vast chain of light. The unwavering belief that love is the ultimate power, and that in the end, good will triumph gives this group its unstoppable strength. We are encouraged to face this spiritual struggle head-on in 2025, not in fear, but with unwavering faith and optimism. There is an opportunity to get more in tune with our authentic selves and the truth we have inside each time we face an internal conflict. Thus, the selected few are not only spiritual fighters, but also creators of a new age of illumination, a time when truth is paramount, and humanity may finally find peace and harmony. As we go further into our 2,500-mile trek, we realize that the real enemy is not outside of us, but within. Through facing our own personal demons, we are compelled to uncover and confront aspects of our character that we may have concealed or disregarded. Dealing with these introspective parts of ourselves helps us see ourselves more clearly, which in turn gives us the strength to face the world with genuine serenity and direction. Those who have been selected are expected to courageously spearhead this spiritual awakening. They are the ones who, by overcoming adversity and rising above it, become innate leaders, exuding the confidence and authority that comes from having a purpose in life. To others around them, these spiritual leaders may seem like hushed mentors, their inner radiance illuminating the path forward for those who are still unsure of themselves. The part that compassion and empathy play in this spiritual conflict is fascinating to see. The more the selected let themselves be vulnerable and open to other people's stories, the deeper the connections they may form with the people they encounter. The selected ones and everyone they touch are both strengthened by this authentic human connection, which serves as a potent healing and awareness tool. The boundaries between the material and ethereal realms are blurring, and we are living in an era of boundless possibility. The quest for purpose weaves into everyday life, and as a result, the common heritage of love and light that binds all spirits starts to emerge. As if an electric current were flowing through their souls, the chosen ones are constantly reminded of their everlasting destiny to lead mankind to a place of greater understanding and compassion via this reconnection. It is crucial to prioritize self-care and spiritual recharge as this spiritual war continues. To re-energize and realign themselves with divine truth, the selected are advised to find times of stop, meditation, and introspection. In order to keep the focus and energy needed to keep going, it is crucial to take these times of quiet reflection and meditation. This exercise also helps to keep in mind that no matter how difficult the endeavor seems, there is always heavenly assistance. A collective spiritual awakening is like a huge mosaic. Every contact, every act of kindness, every choice to choose light over evil adds its own piece. An important part of this awakening is the role of the selected, who serve as change agents and role models. Helping others discover their own route to truth and enlightenment, they are always willing to share the knowledge they have gained. Through this action, a hopeful legacy of mutual respect and understanding is established for the generations to come. The last rallying cry is for all of us to have unwavering faith and an open heart, whether we are leaders or followers. When storms of uncertainty roll in, the rock that holds you fast is the assurance that good will eventually prevail. If we are unified, we can face spiritual storms head-on and come out on top, ready to guide the generations to follow. I pray that we are strengthened and united in this spiritual struggle, and that it gives us the strength to be the light that the world needs. On this spiritual journey, enlightenment is not some faraway destination, but rather an ongoing process that becomes more apparent with each passing day. Being fully present in the here and now, filled with appreciation and purpose, is an invitation to the ongoing process of spiritual and personal development. This is the place where we meet the Holy Spirit that leads us, and where we get to know ourselves on a deeper level. The capacity to reconcile the material and spiritual worlds is greatly influenced by the chosen ones, who serve as bridges between other realms. Every step of their path, they are aware that their activities have a ripple effect that impacts lives and brings more light. Embracing this position is a cause for celebration, but it requires humility and dedication, since we know that little changes add up to big changes for the better. Creating groups characterized by honesty and kindness is very necessary in this time of spiritual conflict. A sense of community fosters personal and communal strength by creating a welcoming environment for the sharing of experiences, the provision of emotional support, and the promotion of mutual development. Ties in these communities are like tissues. They are bound together by the unseen thread of spiritual friendship and unconditional love, providing a safe haven for all members. Our personal beliefs and the struggle for social change are both bolstered when we re-establish contact with these spiritual networks. When spiritual practice goes beyond introspection and shows itself as deliberate social action and the fight for a more fair and sustainable future, this effect is felt everywhere. When we behave with kindness and compassion, it creates a ripple effect that changes things in ways we can't even begin to imagine. Keeping in mind the influence that our thoughts and deeds have on a daily basis, I encourage us all to wholeheartedly accept our roles as change agents. There will be obstacles along the spiritual road, but if we face them head-on and keep our focus, we may break free of the ego's delusions and find the clarity that comes from knowing the truth. Even in the depths of despair, we are led by this unwavering dedication to righteousness and illumination. We are reminded that genuine transformation starts from inside when we keep the light of optimism alive in our hearts. Every day, we have the power to create a better world via our deliberate decisions. Thus, let us all strive, going forward, to have an unwavering faith in the inherent goodness of people and in their capacity to come together for a shared benefit. We are urged to see this great war as a chance for spiritual development and rebirth, rather than a threat. The eternal reminder that we are never really alone, no matter how lonely the path may seem at times, is may the unity of our spirits seek communal light. We go on this journey together, guided by love and tranquility, towards a far horizon where the truth's light shines brightly. In unity and optimism, may we all keep striving for truth and peace, and may we never stop becoming the change we want to see in the world. The year 2000 marks a watershed moment in human history when corrupt structures crumble, paving the way for profound social and spiritual upheaval. The fragility of power systems that have ensnared mankind for so long in delusions and aberrations is really astounding. There will be no hiding place for powerful businesses, truth-bending media outlets, or even religious groups that have abandoned their holy mission when the truth comes out. The spiritual warnings that have long foretold us that nothing stays secret forever are now coming to light, and this collapse is not an accident. The protagonists in this scenario are the modest and the virtuous, and they are more prominent than before. Those who have always followed in the footsteps of the mighty are now rising to the top as God's chosen ones. The first will be the last, and the last will be the first, becomes a real possibility at this point in time, fulfilling a spiritual promise. Those who have remained humble and honest, even when no one was looking, are being called upon to take on positions of spiritual leadership, and it is a sight to see. This event provides tangible evidence of the timeless truth that, according to spiritual understanding, God qualifies people he selects rather than the other way around. Redistribution of power occurs during this moment of correction, not destruction, and it is bestowed onto those who really serve the greatest benefit, thereby validating divine justice. A fundamental shift in the distribution of power, a rethinking of leadership's very basis, is reflected in the calling forth of the lowly and their elevation. In the future, leaders will be motivated not by personal gain or lust for power, but by a sincere desire to help others and bring about a moral shift in society. A return to alignment with divine principles, characterized by compassionate use of power and the crossing of all social strata with sovereign truth, is what this movement is all about, not an invitation to anarchy. When society's cornerstones are knowledge, compassion, and honesty, it fosters an atmosphere that is ideal for cultural and spiritual revitalization. An indication that anybody, regardless of their social status or worldly renown, may be called to leadership is the emergence of the humble. The modest soul's experiences, hardships, and personal development were all spiritual preparation, an unseen improvement that now qualifies them to perform crucial roles, as this shift illustrates. A leader's integrity and moral fortitude, rather than their position or bank account, will be the determining factors in this shift. We are encouraged to take stock of our own lives, consider the principles that really drive our behavior, and find methods to shine a light on humility and truth as a result of this change. No one is being asked to sit on the sidelines during this spiritual revolution. Rather, we are all being urged to actively co-creep into this new paradigm. In order to bring about a more just and compassionate world, every one of us must do our part to restore the divine order. We are ready to welcome this new age with hope and resolve, because we have not wavered in our devotion to spiritual ideals or our religion. This pivotal point in history marks more than simply an acknowledgement of previous mistakes. It heralds a new normal defined by divine justice and the triumph of truth. That we are encouraged to live our lives to the fullest and to always strive for the highest good by the dawn of this golden era. Each of us has a role to play in lovingly and purposefully shaping the world that is being built upon the promise of a world led by knowledge and compassion. We are encouraged to actively participate in this transformation by living by the principles of humility, truthfulness, and compassion as we go forward during this time of profound change. The downfall of the corrupt structures represents a societal awakening, a rallying cry to snap out of our collective slumber and realize the revolutionary potential of being genuine and uncomplicated. A new civilization that values humanity, mutual regard, and the interdependence of all living things is built upon the shoulders of the lowly, on those who have been disregarded or undervalued for far too long. This transformation isn't easy. It requires us to face our pasts and let go of emotional and mental frameworks that don't work for us anymore. The breakdown of exterior institutions is mirrored in this internal process of disintegration. Awakening from the shackles of self-doubt, insecurity, and limiting ideas that have impeded our spiritual growth is akin to the fall of corrupted businesses and authority. Because of this, fresh chances to develop and become in harmony with our ultimate mission present themselves. A profound contemplation of leadership's fundamental nature is prompted by the promise that the lowly would be lifted up. Being ability to exert influence is not a prerequisite for success in this modern day. Serving others and acting selflessly are hallmarks of true leadership, which is characterized by a focus on doing what is best for the greater good. Leaders who provide an example of compassion, understanding, and honesty are more influential than those with official titles or positions of authority. They serve as a reminder that the real measure of success is not in the accolades we get, but in the lives we change for the better. During this time of spiritual renewal, we have a unique chance to reimagine our place in the universe. Everyone is urged to live their lives with a purpose, driven by a mission that goes beyond personal wants and needs and contributes to the greater good. As this perspective sees it, the ascent of the humble is a joyous celebration of mankind at its most basic and fundamental, as well as a spiritual realignment. Let us keep in mind that our spiritual path is an ongoing process as we wholeheartedly welcome this new chapter. Reflection, goal setting, and reiterating our dedication to the truth are daily calls to action. No matter how little they may seem, every step we take moves us closer to a society where love, equality, and justice are the cornerstones. Adhering to these ideals will lead you to a future brimming with limitless opportunities. What this means is that we may all become change agents by acknowledging that transformation starts on an individual level and then spreads to the group. Now is the moment when all people, not just the selected few, will realize their full potential. When we work together, we can create a society where everyone's worth is recognized, fairness is the rule, and peace is felt by everyone, not just spoken about. Our hope is that this will stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit as it seeks to mend broken relationships and create new ones that are in tune with higher powers. By actively participating in all parts of our life, we pledge to carry on this tradition of spiritual enlightenment. This is a chance to see how we are all interdependent, not only on our own waking path. In this setting, the ascent of the lowly heralds a surge of unity and cooperation, where every action is coordinated, valuing variety and advocating for the inclusion of every living thing. We are seeing the revival of spiritual groups as new leaders arise who are leading with a spirit of humility and service. Healing the earth, restoring human dignity, and making justice and truth everyday maintained and lived ideals are the foundations upon which this renewal movement rests. As a result, communities take on a hallowed quality, becoming places of healing, sharing, and learning that bring people together in pursuit of social and spiritual enlightenment. There will be obstacles along the way as you recover and integrate. In order to achieve this, we must face the demons of egotism, pride, and divisiveness that have plagued us for far too long. The light of understanding, acceptance, and oneness, however, may shine through our hearts when we bravely and compassionately face these shadows. By focusing on the social structures and connections we've built together, this introspective activity drives improvements on the outside. We all have an important and special role to play in this evolutionary process. Those whose voices have been suppressed for far too long now have an opportunity to speak out, have their voices heard, and add to the vast river of life. In our variety, we discover power and perseverance, and every person has something special to give. We keep in mind that compassion, patience, and persistence are the stones that lead to change as we go forward. When we question ourselves, it's important to keep believing in our great human potential and the divine direction that's always with us. The light that links us all is strengthened by every little act of kindness, by every deliberate decision to behave with integrity. Our goal is simple yet profound: to approach each day with purpose while staying true to the principles of honesty, kindness, and love. At its core, this is an impassioned plea for us to be true to ourselves and one another, to always behave in accordance with our highest calling. Gradually, we are constructing a society where spiritual leadership is acknowledged as a potent agent of positive change, where every individual is valued for their unique contribution to the vast fabric of existence, and where the humble really are elevated. Every one of us is an integral part of this remarkable collective awakening. Together, we are building a brilliant future that showcases the magnificence and boundless capacity of the human soul. Joining us on this path of self-discovery, healing, and everlasting love, may we continue to be a light to those around us. The picture of divine retribution shines out in this important chapter as an unavoidable summons to those who reject the truth in favor of wickedness. On the cusp of 25, we see the world as the prophecies of 2. Thessalonians have always warned that many will reject the light and suffer the consequences of their own decisions. This judgment is not caused by a God who is punishing, but rather by the choices made by humans who choose to live in opposition to universal truth. Rather than sharing in pain, what really matters now is that individuals who have become in tune with God's desire are being given wisdom. The remnant, the ones who have heeded God's call, discover a haven of order among the mayhem. Consistently holding their souls in line with spiritual ideals is a hallmark of the path of these selected ones. The trials they endured were not insurmountable, but rather necessary stepping stones on the path to the larger mission that lay ahead. These trials did not deter them, but rather strengthened them for their pivotal position in the world's grand spiritual reorganization. As the evil systems fall apart, the selected few break out of hiding, prepared to take their rightful positions on the heavenly stage. It is quite remarkable how the prophecy of Scripture, which states that the meek will inherit the earth, becomes a reality in our society when leaders choose spiritual understanding above material power. Being led by a higher knowledge, these individuals demonstrate that genuine leadership is derived from selfless and multifaceted service. During this time, long-suppressed facts will finally come to light, exposing the falsehoods that have been spreading across our society. The stimulus for profound cleansing is the growing difference between the light bearers and the shadows. During this period of rebirth, divine justice serves not as an excuse for vengeance, but as a tool for bringing harmony to the cosmos. When the selected ones are prepared to take up their spiritual roles, then there is great delight in waiting. The promise of a world more in harmony with the divine order is embodied in them, since they are not driven by the desire for worldly power, but by the genuine desire to serve the greatest good. Now is the time for individuals who have heard the call to spiritual leadership to begin making preparations for their future position. It is clear that we are heading in the direction of a better future when we see the world through the prism of love, humility, and selfless service. Knowing that we were selected to shine a light where darkness seems to reign not only elevates us, but also motivates us to be truer selves as we take part in the formation of this new paradigm. At this very moment, there is a call that reverberates across the whole world, urging everyone to connect with the profound realities that emanate from the divine core. In His boundless wisdom, God does more than just choose deserving individuals. He also grants them the ability and resources they need to fulfill their assignments to the fullest. During this era of boundless possibilities, we are reminded that genuine leadership goes beyond mere command and involves the capacity to motivate, inspire, and uplift the collective. We are reminded of the significance of being true to our spiritual identity in all situations as we approach the specified promises. In the face of the hardships we experience, we have the chance to demonstrate the veracity of our character and the strength of our faith. Keeping this in mind, we go on knowing that we contribute to a greater whole, the ongoing story of love that we are all a part of. Walking in the light means never wavering from our noblest goals and making sure our deeds are in sync with the mission given to us. We are all co-authors in this illuminated tale, and this is just the beginning of our path of ongoing spiritual growth. Now that we know we each play an important part, we may go further on this path of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. This is not a road we travel alone, but rather one that all those who aim for the highest good must travel together. A more equitable and peaceful society is possible because of each deliberate action we take and every decision we make. No matter how difficult the path may be, it is replete with chances to learn and develop in ways we could never have anticipated. Those who make it through this period unscathed are models of strength and bravery. They demonstrate that being loyal to love and truth is achievable even when faced with challenges. Just being in his company makes us think about how we may apply these principles to our own lives. We are experiencing a collective transition, and each individual's transformation adds to it. Thus, it is essential that we reflect on our own evolution. Every one of us is a part of the transition that is taking place, not just the institutions around us. Embracing the changes that happen inside us creates space for heavenly insight and tranquility to grow. In the course of our daily contacts, treatment of people, and leadership, this inner process becomes apparent. No matter how big or little your